Guys, I'm gonna film a get ready with me today because we are going to the swamp on a swamp tour, and I'm super excited to do a swamp chic sort of a look. So this is my first run through with my awesome new camera, and I want to see how it works. I don't really have, again, I don't have a lighting exactly how I would like it. I don't really know exactly how things are going to go. You may see the camera move a few times, but I'm going to do my best to do some awesome swamp chic for you. My child has reminded me that I do need to do an intro and an outro, and that's more people will look at my stuff if I do an intro and an outro. As he calls it, and so I totally intend to do that, but it will not be done before I put this video up, hopefully today. So that will be slightly later that you'll see a new intro and something else groovy from me along those lines. I'm just gonna put some earrings in so I look all fancy before I do my thing. And you'll see on my hand that I have, I got all my blue and I'm royalty from Jeffree Star today, and I'm so sad because none of them will go with the look that I had planned, but they're here and I'm just seeing how they wear, and I'm just looking at them because they're beautiful and fabulous. So you'll see them here and there. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put on my foundation. I did get some feedback from Reddit, on one of the Reddit boards that I'm on, that my foundation is probably heavier than I need and I could get by with something less heavy. But because we are going to be out in the sun and in the swamp today, I am going to go ahead and do this Tint Idole 24, just because I think it will last better. So before I do that, I will put on a little bit of primer. Again, we're going to be in the sun for a long time today, and I'm going to have a little bit of primer on my face, so I'll do that. This one is the Iredale Smooth Affair Primer. I like it a lot. It smells like oranges. That's probably half the reason that I like it. But it seems to work well for me. Silicone-based primers do not work well for me. So a lot of the things that people use, but this is the Iredale one that I'm using at the moment. It's not gonna focus. Okay. So I will go ahead and put that on with my foundation brush that I talked about in the brush video. So you all have seen this before. It is just a domed brush from, this one is from Zoeva that I like quite a bit, and it works great for me and gives me a pretty nice finish. I'm gonna do something cray-cray and use yellow blush today from My Pretty Zombie. I have it and I've only worn it maybe once or twice, so I am totally gonna wear it today and see what we can do, because it feels swampy, and that's my plan, to be as swampy as possible while still being as glamorous as most people expect me to be when I go out on an outing. So what I would do is just go ahead and buff in my foundation, all the places that I need it. I'm not doing my eyelids because I have other plans for that. And I may or may not put a little bit of under eye concealer on. I may not. I'm gonna have sunglasses on, and so I feel like that might be a little overkill for today. I'm not sure yet. So once I have that on, I will take my Real Techniques sponge that is already damp and just kind of press that in a little bit and get rid of any little brush strokes or things that don't look quite as smooth as I would like them to. And I think just for the sake of being thorough today, I will go ahead and put on a little bit of my Estee Lauder Smooth Cream Concealer. It's significantly lighter than this foundation that I'm wearing. I swear I used to be a different color. I am always pale. I'm still pale, but I used to be paler than this. And this foundation is, this concealer is pretty old, so I'm shaking it up to make sure it's all smooth. Otherwise, I have others to choose from. I could pull something else out, but I'd rather go with this because it's a little long wear. I don't know about this. This might be out of its... This might be a little old. We'll see. I told you I don't wear concealer a lot. I don't use it a lot. It's probably been sitting in there a while. But we're gonna see what we can do with it. Put a little bit in this under eye area that's just a little bit dark. And then I'm gonna take a sample. I love a sample of the MAC. Is this a sample of the MAC? Nope, that's Armani foundation. That's not gonna work. A little bit of Sensual Skin Enhancer by Kevin O'Quinn, and I'll use the other side of this brush and put just the dottiest dot of that right there. Or have a little blemish. Anything else that I feel like I need to cover, maybe I'll put a little bit of this right in here in these corners and see how it does. All right, let's blend all that in and see what happens. You know what? I'm gonna use my Beauty Blender. My Beauty Blender knockoff, which I love better than the actual Beauty Blender. I had a Beauty Blender and I wasn't thrilled. So, there. Oh, that brightened that up a little bit. You know, I'm a little bit older than a lot of the people on YouTube. I'm 45. I'm still gonna have some areas under my eye that you can see. It's not collagen. It's not gonna puff up. All right, the Sensual Skin Enhancer is gonna require a finger. Or just the brush. I don't use it a lot. I got a sample of it when I was in London and they didn't write the color that they gave me, and so I'm not sure what color to order, and the stuff is really expensive, and so just not sure how I feel about rolling the dice and ordering that. Plus, I haven't really gotten it to do things I can't do with other products. If anybody has any tips for Sensual Skin Enhancer, feel free to go ahead and throw them in the comments after this video, because I am not sure what I want to do with it. I am gonna, you know, since it's the summer and I'm being all bronze, I'm gonna set all this with my bronzer, which is Wet n Wild Color Icon Reserve Your Cabana. Many people have mentioned to me that this would be a highlighter for them. That's very true. It probably would. And it's not a super bronzer for me. It doesn't make me bronze, but it gives me a little bit more color if I'm not going for a goth look, which sometimes I am, but today I'm not. So I'm gonna set all that except for my under eye area with the Reserve Your Cabana. And under eye, I'm just gonna use a little bit of Hourglass Diffused Light. I also often use Makeup Forever HD powder. In fact, maybe I'll use that today. I'll use the Makeup Forever HD and a little brush and set that under eye area where I put those other products. And just where I did a little extra concealing, which was moderately unsuccessful. But again, I'm going to the swamp. I only have to look so fantastic, right? So the next thing that I would do at this point is go ahead and do my contour. I'm going to use the pointy brush that I complained about the other day in my video. That sheds a little bit, but it is pointy and it will get this right where I want it. And I want to save my other pointy brush for other projects. And I'm just putting this kind of right in that contour area and then up along the sides of my face into what would be my temple and hairline. I can do a much sharper contour, but that's not really what I'm after today. I'm after a little more, I mean, if you could ever call a look with some green glitter that I have planned later natural, I'm looking for a little more natural contour today. And I'm just going to hit with a little bit of, blush. This is my Pretty Zombie blush. They come in fabulous colors. In fact, my favorite blush color is from them. It's MDMA is my favorite blush. But this one is Fluoxetine. They're all named after chemicals and drugs. They are actually called the Drug Like Me collection. Some people have issues buying products that have names that they don't like. I really don't have that issue. I'm okay with whatever creative people choose to name their products, especially if the product is fabulous. And this product is indeed fabulous. And I'm just going to blend it in to the contour area that I have there, not exactly on the apple of my cheek, but back a little bit further. And of course you can already see one of those delightful black hairs that I have to get off my face when I use this darn brush. So I know that looks super, super yellow on camera, but I'm going to turn it down a little bit with the brush that I used for my bronzer. It doesn't look quite as yellow in person. I know that there are going to be comments of people saying that I look jaundiced, but I am a NICU nurse and I work in the NICU and I know exactly what jaundice looks like, and this is not it. Okay, I think that that is actually kind of the look I was going for this. So now I'm going to hit it with a little bit of highlighter. I'm going to use Soft and Gentle by MAC because I always like to be highlighty, and I'm going to use my Zoeva highlighting brush to do that. My daughter is visiting me again. She cannot stand that I am in here without her participating.
Sorry.
You have to be very quiet if you're going to stay. Okay.
I'll go check the mail.
Okay. All right, I think that is it for contour and highlight at the moment. I did go ahead and highlight my Cupid's bow while I was there. I may need to touch that up again. And I'm just going to take whatever blush is left on my blush brush and hit this with just a little tiny bit of whatever red color is on there. Probably MDMA, just to kind of mix it a little and warm it up a tiny bit. Now, I really don't have a plan for my eyes. all I had in my head was Swamp Glam, and I haven't seen a lot of Swamp Glam, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on some Urban Decay Primer Potion. I have to say that it's not my absolute favorite. This one is in Sin. It's not my favorite primer potion. My favorite primer potion is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and I'm currently out of that. So I am using this in its stead because I want to use up the things that I have rather than just replace, especially if they still work for me. And this one does still work for me. It's just not my absolute favorite. And I'm going to go ahead and put some underneath my eye as well, and well into the corner of my eye, because I intend to put some color in all those spaces. And I haven't really gotten the knack for editing these videos yet, so it may go up in its entirety just like it is, but I will start working on editing and doing a little bit of music maybe, and doing some titles and things like that. Let me close my door. Okay. All right, so now that I have that in place, I'm going to go ahead and take a color tattoo. I often use MAC paint pots as well, but today I'm going to use a color tattoo because I want to lay down a little more color, and I don't have a paint pot in this color. This one is Bad to the Bronze, and I'm again going to use my finger to lay that color down all over the eye area, all over the lid, and up into the crease. I'm not really going to go much above the crease. Isn't it weird that you have to open your mouth when you do certain things? When you do your makeup, you notice it when you're on camera, that you sit around with your mouth gaping open like a bass sometimes. Jem, if you're gonna stay, please close that door. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with a couple of colors from my Viseart. This is the basic 01 Basic Matte palette. One of them is a color that I kind of use as my transition color all of the time. These don't have color names on them, but it's this one. And it's kind of the color of my lid. And I'm gonna put that above where I put the color tattoo, so that I have something to blend into. Leave that alone. And now I'm going to take with some sort of a crease brush. I believe I'm going to use my MAC 217 crease brush. And I have, I don't know if you guys have seen these, but I have a Vera Mona color switch. A lot of people online say it's the same thing as aquarium filter material or stippling sponge material. I know for a fact that this is softer than aquarium filter because I tried that, and now that I have some brushes that are a little more expensive, I don't want to mess them up with aquarium filter. So I'm going to go in and I'll do a review maybe of the Vera Mona and the things that people use instead. Some people use those things that you make buns in your hair with, that material. Some people use those. Some people use, again, as I said, aquarium filter or stipple sponges. So we'll see. I think that I'm going to go in with this color, which is a little warmer, as my crease, my first crease color, because I have a plan for another crease color. So we'll just go in and do that from the whole crease, from one end to the other, but really right in the crease and just above, not much more than that. I'm sorry that I can't look into the camera the whole time that I'm doing all of these, but I don't have enough room on my desk right now to set it up that way. Hopefully that I can at some point set it up that way. And so I'm just laying down this first crease color, which I'm pretty happy with. I will try and zoom in on that a little bit and let you see. Now I'm going to go in with this darker sort of a mud, please leave. Now I'm going to go in with this darker sort of a chocolatey, muddy kind of color. There's a color like this in the Laura Mercier Artist palette as well, if you have that one. And go into the outer V of my eye. Just to darken that and give a little more dimension in that outer V. And now I'm going to take a blending brush and kind of blend that whole area. I think I'm going to use this Duo Fiber Eye Brush from Real Techniques and see if that does what I want. If it doesn't, I will switch. And I'm just kind of doing little circles and blending all of this edge because we don't want anything harsh. You just don't want a line between where one color gets to the other. You kind of want a smooth, diffused definition. Now sometimes after you blend, you realize you've taken out a little more color than you would like to have. And so I'm going to go in with a pencil brush that looks like this. It's just Sonia Kashuk one, and put some of that dark color right back in that V. Alright, now I'm finished with those colors, and I do want to put in a little bit, I know it sounds kind of crazy, I want to lay down a little bit of orange because camo has orange in it, and that was kind of what I was thinking of when I came up with this idea. So I'm going to use another I have a lot of crease brushes hanging around, so I'm just going to use another crease brush and take a little bit of orange from the Viseart. It's this orange right here from the Viseart Bright Editorial palette, which is the best selection of bright colors I have. I'm a fan of Viseart, Saucebox, and Sugar Pill. I use bright colors from all of, but because I've never been able to go to any of the beauty conventions, I've never been able to buy the Pro Sugar Pill palette, which has all the colors in one palette, and they do make a variety of these colors. Not some of the lighter ones, but the darker ones for sure, but I have them in 3 or 4 different palettes, and sometimes it's just a whole lot easier for me to pick this one up and use this one. So I'm going to pat this all over the remaining part of my lid and get a little orange going on in there. And it's going to look a little rusty, and that's perfect because the swamp is a little rusty in my opinion. I like that a lot. I think that's going to work. Okay, now, some time ago, I had a custom color made from Dawn Eyes Cosmetics. She had a little fundraiser that she was doing, and she made custom colors. If you sent her like an idea of what you wanted, she mixed the colors for you and sent them out to you. After she was really great. She did like video of the colors so you could really see it. And I think I'm gonna just put a little bit of my color in there because it's a little sparkly and a little murky, and I like that. My color is called Sazerac, and it is a brown, a mid-tone brown with sparks of green and orange in there. So I think that that would go nicely with this look that I'm working for today. And I'm kind of going back into my crease and over some of those crease colors that I put in and just blending out a little bit and up. Now, to really see the sparks in this eyeshadow, you have to put down an eyeshadow primer that is made for glitter. The one I use the most is Pixie Epoxy by Fairnay. It's hard to blend the products that you put on top of the Pixie Epoxy though. So if I wanted to see just a really intense area of these sparks, I would take a little Pixie Epoxy on my hand, pat it where I wanted it, put the shadow on, and then blend above and below it. And that works really well for the Pixie Epoxy. Some people do have issues with Pixie Epoxy, but if you play with it a little bit, it is very easy to use. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with the bottom of my eyes. Maybe a little more of the brown and the orange. So let's go in with the darker chocolatey brown color with my pencil brush, which has escaped me. Here's one. I'll just take this one. The darker brown color that we used. I'm gonna smudge that along my lash line and into the previous color to kind of fill in that corner. About halfway. And do that on both sides. About halfway. And then in the closer to the inner corner of my eye, I'm going to use my orange from the electric, from the Editorial Brights. Urban Decay also makes a palette of colors like this. Many of them are shimmery though. What I liked especially about this palette is that they are all matte. And sometimes I don't want a shimmery color. I just want to put shimmer where I want it. Alright, so I've gone in all the way with that. Now I'm going to run a little shader brush over all of that and shade it in a little so it doesn't look quite so stark. Alright, now for the fun part of this look, I am going to use a LA Splash. Sometimes sends you gifts when you order from them. I ordered a bunch of liquid lipsticks, and they sent me mineral eyeshadow in Enchanted Forest, which is a green. I'm going to use this green glitter on the inner corner of my eye, and I am going to use my eye candy liquid sugar to put that on. So I'm going to, for some reason my camera turned off. I still don't know all the details of the camera, but I have that inner accent on my eyes now. And what I was really looking for is a kind of a murkiness, which I hope that I've gotten here. I am gonna go ahead and just smoke out the corners of this shadow a little bit so that it looks a little more blended out. I'm gonna use a cheap mascara today. I'm gonna use, well, an inexpensive mascara today. I'm gonna use Mega Plush Volume Express. I just bought it yesterday. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I really like the brush. What I don't like is that the brush is mobile. I didn't like that on the Miss Manga Anime mascara either. I like my brush to be a little stiffer so that I can get right up in my lashes without worrying about it bending away from what I'm doing. I did not do any eyeliner or any tight lining on this look, and honestly it's because really it's gonna sweat off. I know that for a fact. And just because I think we're going to be on an airboat, and I think there's a significant chance of my eyes watering, I'm going to put my Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill waterproof mascara on my bottom lashes because I think that they're going to water. Which is why I did go ahead and put the eye primer under there as well, because I think that they will water a little bit. Now I just want to blend a little more right here. Sometimes I see some areas that need a little extra blending. Don't be afraid to go up into this part of your eye. I know that's not normally where people put eyeshadow, but that shadow is a legitimate place to be putting things, and sometimes it looks really, really good. Not sure if my if my mascara is dramatic enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in with one more coat, and this time I'm gonna use Haute and Naughty from MAC, just to kind of give it just a little more oomph. Because I'm really not going for natural looking lashes, I'm going for pretty plush lashes. Okay, for lipstick, while I am dying to wear one of these, I am either gonna do a green or an orange, and I haven't decided yet. That decision is up for debate right now. I have an LA Splash Nagini. These are the Smitten lip tints. And I also have a Jeffree Star in Anna Nicole, which I love a lot. And I think Anna Nicole may just brighten up the whole shebang. You could get out a lip brush like an appropriate person and make sure all of your edges are perfect, but I find that I can get pretty good edges with these. Excuse me. It is allergy season here where I live. Which is why some of the eye watering is happening. Okay. I think I'm pretty happy with this. I am currently not doing a lot of things to my brows because I'm trying to let them grow out a little bit so that I can reshape them just a tiny bit. But I will put just a little bit of brow powder with my with the Zoeva Brow Line brush. I'll use just a little bit of this brown from a Benefit Babe cake that I have hanging around. I'll use a little bit of that brown just to kind of fill in anything that's sparse. Very minimal brow work going on today. And then I'll go back in over that with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, which you can, use this, use clear mascara, use whatever you like, but it does kind of keep your brows all nice and groomed for the day and keep that powder on, which has a tendency to wear off if you don't put on some sort of wax or brow gel afterwards. So I think, except for one more little swipe, sometimes I do one more little swipe of the bronzer after I'm done, and one more little swipe of the highlight because I like to be a disco ball. In fact, I need a tiny bit more highlighter on a little brush just to hit that Cupid's bow area. And I think that is a done deal. So let's take a better look at the whole look. And now I'm gonna go try and upload this to YouTube and see what happens. It is actually in 2 parts because, as I said, my camera did turn off. I think it must only make a video of a certain length before it decides that you should have stopped talking by now. And since you haven't, it is going to make you. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this off and upload it, and I hope you enjoy Swamp Chic. And I'll be back maybe just to do a little vlog about the swamp and some swamp pictures afterwards. Thanks.